What is up? Amazing Mike Man here, and as you know, I am beyond hyped for the new Jurrac Support. So I've been tinkering with it, toying a bit, testing different ideas and stuff. So here is what I've come up with, probably the most optimal I've come up with. But let's keep in mind, I haven't played Advanced since Hulk was legal. So since branded was it was like branded Fluanderees, Sword Soul, and Based were like some of the top decks. So at the time, that was like when I stopped playing. So I stopped playing like right before Sprite and right before Sprite and Tier Elements hit the scene. So I've missed like a good chunk of the metagame. So I'm kind of a little bit out of the loop of like what the best like staples and non-engine are, stuff like that. So so these like last few slots, these Ash, Nibiru, Imperm, Talents, and Droplet are just like my like non-engine spot, and that could be swapped out for like whatever is relevant non-engine at the time when Drax will be legal. So yeah. So with that being said, this list is probably not super optimized because I just have not been playing modern in a while. So uh, there's probably room for improvement. So if you're someone who's been playing and keeping up with it, feel free to let me know in the comments, constructive criticism. Let me know what I could do better, because at the end of the day, what I really want is Jurracs to be as viable as possible. It's probably going to be Rogue. It's got a little niche, like funny trick, just dropping meteors a bunch. So um, I don't think anyone's really expecting it to be like a tier one threat. But with that being said, I want to push it to its maximum capabilities. So anything you guys got, like any suggestions, anything like that, might not work as well as I think it does, let me know. And I would love to maximize its potential. So let's get into the deck list. Typical dinosaur engine. Oh, first thing you might notice, it's 50 card. So why is it 50 card? Well, because bricks, right? Like you don't want to see your bricks, and you want to see your starters. So I'm maxing out on starters, and baby and petite are the dinos are like a 2 card starters. You need a way to pop the baby, right? So I'm maxing out on babies and petites because you need to pop them. Falsa digs, ground xenos. So yeah, that's why it's 50 card. So yeah, we got 3 OV, 3 baby, 3 petite, 1 misc. I'd play more if I could. Triple Falsa Dig, triple Ground Xeno, way to pop the baby, you search your Xeno, but if you draw Xeno and Ground Xeno, you just search Megalo instead. We got Volcano, which is another way to pop the baby. It's really good. And you could special summon Stego. So Stego is a 1-card starter. It's really good. I'm thinking of bumping it up to 3, but you don't really want to see it because you don't really want to normal summon Stego, right? You want to normal summon either OV or like a baby if you see like baby plus Misk or baby plus Volcano. So you don't really want to normal summon Stego. You really want to special it off of the field spell. But who knows? Maybe I should play 3 because like if you do open too many, you could discard it off of Megalo and get a draw 2. So yeah, I might bump it up to Stego. Like now that I'm thinking out loud, I'm thinking I might have to bump Stego to 3. I was also thinking of bumping UCT to 3 because I'll explain the combo here. The 1-card combo is you normal summon Stego or you summon Stego off of something and you activate its effect. You destroy itself and then you send a level 10. The level 10 is going to be UCT. And then once you send UCT, you can special summon a level 9 and a level 1. Remember, Stego ignores summoning conditions, which means you can summon Jurrac Titano off of it. So you're going to summon Jurrac Titano and Jurrac Megalo. And then, boom, you have your level 10 guy. He sets a spell or trap. You can either set Meteor if you, you can either set Volcano if you have like a baby to pop and continue extending. Keep in mind you're locked in dinos at this point. Or you can set Impact, which is in my opinion a little better interruption than Volcano, because Volcano they need to hit that threshold of 4 monster effects and a special summon. Versus Impact, you could just activate it at any time. So yeah, that's why I'm playing Titano. It's a 1 of brick, but you need to play it. There's another option. You could instead opt to play 3 Megalo and like 2 Aeolo, but that involves you playing Belfito. It's like a different line. But I figured less bricks and more extra deck space is better. So Jurrac Titano is the 1 of brick instead of having to play multiple Jurrac cards. And plus, Stego lets you summon it from hand. So even if you draw it, you can still play. You can still do the combo. And then if you draw it, you could also discard it off of Megalo. So like the Jurrac bricks aren't even too bad because you can still use them. Then of course we got the 1 Xeno, the 1 Frostosaurus, the 1 Jurrac Impact. We got the 1 Pill, the 1 Archosaur. I could bump Archosaur up to 2, another way to pop the baby, but I have so many ways to pop the baby now. I have Ground Xeno, I have Volcano, so I figured I'd minimize Archosaur and Pill to 1. Some Dino players like to play 2 and 2. And I used to be a 2 and 2 kind of guy, but I think since this list is focusing a little more on the Jurrac engine, I wanted to make some space so I could see, starters and stuff. So it's debatable. I might bump it up to 2. Let me know what you guys. Let me know what you guys think. 2 UCT. So the reason I'm on 2 UCT, right, is because ideally you don't want to send UCT off a Stego, right? Like in a perfect world, because UCT does not do anything in Grave, and that does hurt your grind game a little bit because now you're only going to have 1 UCT to use it with the entire game. So that's why I was considering the idea of bumping UCT up to 3. But the problem is UCT is a little bit of a brick, right? Like you don't really want to see it, so that's why I'm keeping it at 2. So I don't know. It's a weird give and take because you play 3, your grind game is going to be a lot better. You play 2, your consistency is going to be a lot better. So it's debatable. I'm on the 1 pank. I could bump it up to 2, but a lot of the dino lists that I'm seeing are only playing like 1 of, if not if 1 at all, or they're playing 0 pank. So it seems to me like Pankertops is just a little bit power corrupt at this point because Kastira Fenrir is generally agreed upon to be just a better Pankertops. So, but the idea is you want to play it because you can summon it off of Petite. It's a nice card. It's not bad if you draw it, especially going second. We've got the 1 of Giant Rex. Giant Rex, it's good. I could cut it, but you know, there was a reason I was playing it. I can't remember what it was, but it just, you banish it off of Volcano. You can banish it off of Astro, and it's a dinosaur. You can summon it. Oh, I remember now why I'm playing it, because of fucking Dimensional Shifter, D-Shifter, that's right. Because if they just D-Shifter you, you just straight up lose. But at least if they D-Shifter you with a Giant Rex in the deck, they can D-Shifter you, and then you could normal summon Ovi and make a Baguska and hope they don't have an out for Baguska, right? So that's the entire reason I'm playing Giant Rex, just because D-Shifter is a card. If they were to ban D-Shifter, I'd probably get rid of Giant Rex. Triple Droplet, triple Ash, triple Nib, triple Imperm, triple Talents, and Call By. Just non-engine. Just playing a lot because I'm on 50 cards, so I want to see more non-engine. Let's get into the side deck. This is just in case I wanted to bump the ratios. So I put these here. This like extra spaces I haven't filled out yet. And plus, I'm not even really familiar with the meta or anything right now. So the side deck is, of course, especially subject to change. But you know what I'm thinking? I am thinking I'm going to put 1 shifter in the side. So when I'm going up against a deck that uses shifter, I could like cross out the shifter so I can continue to play, because shifter is a problem. And then we got D-Barrier, Doggeran, Pankertops, Lightning Storm, just going second stuff, going second tools. Cross out, you're going first tools, and D-Barriers, you're going first tools. Then we got the extra deck. I'm playing 3 and 3. You might be wondering why I'm playing 3 and 3. At first I was playing 2 and 2, but I now realize 3 and 3 is a lot better, because as you'll see in one of the games, I had the opportunity to go into a third Astro, but I just couldn't. Especially because when you pop Megalo, you're sending Astro, right? So when you send Astro, you're gonna have like 1 less Astro in the deck. So when you do eventually resolve Stego, you want to have that third Astro to summon. And then also Meteor, you can summon it straight off of Volcano, so you're not always going to be summoning it off of Astro's effect. So it's good to have 3 and 3 for the grind game. And then just the Volzars, powerful cards. Now I'm playing Giga Cannon and Drillignathus because they're dinosaurs. So when Stego locks you into dinosaurs, you want to be able to still play. Giga's good. Also, it's going to be great in time because when you pop it, it's going to burn for 1,000. So unfortunately, time rules are a thing. And when you get stuck in time, you're going to need a way to do damage. So this is your way to do damage. Also, you can do it even if you're locked into dinos, and it's good for like OTKs because it does a lot of damage. It boosts itself by 1,000, and then it just does damage. And then this guy's great. He brings back a banished dinosaur. You could recycle Misk. You could bring back even an Astro that's this is what's really nice. You can use his effect to bring back an Astro that's banished itself. So he's really nuts. And you could summon it when you're locked into dinosaurs. So these two are like just great options when you can't go into the Volzars. Again, they're not like perfect, right? Obviously, the Volzars are much better, but you got to work with what you got to work with when you're locked into dinosaurs with Stego. Baguska and Dweller, just generic rank 4s. 1 Anima and 1 Little Knight, because they're just good link monsters. And Anima can steal something going second. And yeah, that is the deck list. Let's get into the games. So here is the first game against Malice. Let's get into it. So I win the die roll, I go first, but unfortunately I accidentally draw a card because I am used to Tengu. So that's something I gotta get used to moving back into Modern, is not drawing when you go first. So I activate Stego here. And he does that like new copy of Maxi, I ash it, and then I use the effect, And looks like I forgot to send the UCT for stego effect, so whoops, my bad. But I do the combo. Let's just pretend I sent UCT here. And then I summon those guys, and I can make Astro here. Astro effect. I could set impact, and because he used a monster effect, I could talents him. Probably should have talenced first to get that knowledge. So here I actually elect to draw 2. And he ashes that. So here I have a few points interruption. I have a summon negate, I have a nuke, and then after I nuke, I have another nuke because I could Astro pop everything. And then revive Megalo, and then if he pops Megalo, I could nuke again a third time. I decided not to set the droplet because the field's going to get nuked, right? And I don't really want to send Astro, because if I send Astro, I can't pop the field. So I figured droplet was better in my hand here. So he bricks, he's forced to allure here. And he banishes that guy. He does Gold Sark. So from what I understand, the Malice is these guys work when they're banished and they could summon themselves. So he Gold Sarks, banishes it, summons it, and then gets the effect. That's fine because I can't negate that because it's an effect. I can only negate inherent summons. So when he link summons, I am going to go ahead and negate the link summon. Especially because that Lingaribo could negate the Jurrac impact. He goes first here. He summons, I imperm. Again, I am not super familiar with any of the modern decks since I used to play. So this isn't even a deck that's been released in TCG yet. So I'm especially not familiar with when to stop them. So my apologies if I imperm at the incorrect time here. He continues to extend. I figured it just didn't seem like the right time to imperm. I could have been wrong though. He goes Splash Mage here. Oh, and then he says, no, sorry, this move, no combo. So we're kind of giving each other grace here because, at the end of the day, we're just testing a bunch of cards that haven't even been released in the TCG yet. So right now, we really just want to get used to the cards before they're released. So we're giving each other a little bit of grace here. No worries. Because after all, this is just testing. He goes SP to banish it to get the effect, to summon itself, and to continue extending. And then here seemed like a choke point. I figured it would just all end here if I just imperm that, so that's what I go for. And then it does stop him. He does have Called by an Ash. That's going to be very hard for dinos to deal with. So let's see how that plays out. So yeah, he ashes the Ovi, I chain Misk, he chains Called by, and that is a wrap. It's a very unfortunate pair of cards that deal very well with dinos. If that was Valor or Imperm, I could have chained Droplet to at least get the Overraptor Search. But he ashed it, so that wouldn't have worked. So I set Droplet and hope it's enough to deal with it. But let's see what this is. Yeah, okay, so I could have maybe dropleted that. I think that was what I should have dropleted. But I did not. So I don't know if that's a misplay, but yeah. Because he's able to continue extending here. Because even if I did droplet it, I mean, he would still have the 2 bodies. I would have nothing. I would have to hope I top deck into Archosaur, and he had Imperm for it. So I think I was losing this game regardless. He does the Malice combos. And we move on to Game 3. Now, Game 3 here, he shifters me. And that is rough. So good thing I have Giant Rex, because I'm at least able to make a rank 4. So I go Ovi, send Rex effect summon, and I could make Logia here. I didn't go for Baguska because that deck just link summons. So yeah, although maybe Baguska would have been better because all the they don't really have a good link 1 from what I've seen. They just have to go into the Lingaribo, which doesn't really extend. So maybe it is better to go Baguska. I don't know. I decided to go Logia though. It didn't matter because he had Imperm to deal with it, but we'll see how this plays out. He Imperms a negate just to get the Giant Rex on field at least. He goes Lingaribo, and he links into SP Little Knight and deals with the Volcano. And that's why I activated Volcano, because Volcano is a form of interruption. It's basically a Nibiru, although the opponent is aware of it, but still it applies pressure. It means like they really don't want to play into it. So he's forced to Little Knight it. So on my turn, I go into my own Little Knight. Oh yeah, again, we're giving each other a little bit of grace here. He takes it back. It's like no worries. And that's a neat card. That card can negate that. That's a powerful card. Anyway, so here I link into my own Little Knight to deal with his. He chains, and I go for Misk here. And I do talents to rip a card out of his hand, and he chains this little maxi copy. I decide to send back the Sign Up Mining because that will allow him to play. And now he only has interruption, which I have 2 ways to summon, Ground Xeno and and Misk, versus he has 1 thing to stop, right? So I'm in a really good spot here. I decided to just stop playing instead of like taking the challenge because I activated SP Little Knight, which means I cannot attack directly this turn. Yeah. So I have to just kind of pass and hope he doesn't like top deck anything nuts because I have no way to stop him except my own Little Knight. He top decks into Nibiru, so now I have to play through 2 forms of interruption. But luckily, I play through Nibiru, I respect it, and you'll see how that plays out here. I go Misk, he is going to go ahead and negate with that effect. I chain Little Knight, get rid of that, and I go Ground Xeno, search. So remember, I have to summon less than 5 times here. So we're going to Xeno's Meteorus number 1, OV's number 2. And I figured if he yeah, even if he has like Imperm or something here, like I could still go into like I'm in a very very strong position here because let's say that was Imperm or Ash or something, I could still climb into the level 10 and have several board wipes. Plus, I could set Jurrac Impact. So I'm just in a controlling position here. So banish 2, summon 3, Rex is summoned 4, and then Dolka summon 5, which means I can deal with the Nibiru. And that's kind of my goal here is like, I need to make, if I'm not under the protection of Misk, I need to make Dolka before either at my 5th summon or before my 5th summon. But if I do have the protection of Misk, I can kind of like extend a little bit because Nibiru won't do anything to me while I'm under Misk. And then go into Dolka before going into any non-dinos. And then here I'm just good. Alright, so here is the next replay. This is going to be up against Stun. So I know Stun was like a very viable option like a few formats ago. I remember like everyone was talking about it. It was during a tier 0 format. I don't remember if it was like Snake Eyes or Kashtira, but I do remember like everyone was talking about how like Stun was like a very budget option to compete with the tier 0 decks. And like Stun was actually topping a few events. So I don't know how good Stun is now anymore, but this guy appears to be on Stun. So we are going to see how that plays out. Jurrac Dino versus Stun. Let's see. He wins the die roll, so he elects to go first. And he normal summons Jowgen, sets 3 pass. So Dogmatic of Punishment, Imperm, and Crackdown this guy. So yeah, seems like a pretty good start. I don't know why he's playing this card. Is this like some sort of hidden tech? I don't know. It doesn't seem good, right? Like all the mushers is 500 once per turn during your main phase. Destroy all mushers in the field with less attack than this card. I don't know why that's good. Like wouldn't you just rather want to play like Regeki or like Torrential? Not even, yeah, like this is only good going second. So yeah, sorry, Regeki. I don't know. Is there a reason people play this, or is this guy just playing like a weird tech? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if this is like some hidden sleeper that has some sort of synergy I don't know about. Who knows? But yeah, so I'm going to be facing down a Floodgate, Can't Special, Imperm, or Dogmatic of Punishment, a Pop 2, Imperm, and Crackdown. So let's see how I deal with that. I'm going to start by Fossil Dig and dropletting that to negate that. He doesn't have a way to stop that, so I go OV. And I get Special Pank here. And I figured Pank can deal with any like continuous floodgates like Skill Drain or like there can only be one, stuff like that. And I want to clear this like first before I do anything else. I go over here, he chains Imperm. It's no worries, I go Ground Xeno, and here I search Meteorus, pop Megalo. And that's great because I misclicked, I accidentally said Meteorus, but I meant to pop Megalo. And then Megalo can trigger sending Astro, so this is great, because now already on the opponent's turn, I have a Meteor I can send to nuke the field. And then I summon Meteorus, and here I can go for a Synchro 10, or I can go for Lars, by popping Ovi, and then special summoning Frostrosaurus, and just going straight for Lars. So he goes Dogmatic of Punishment to stop it before it gets going, to pop these 2. No worries. And then I have Pank to deal with that. He goes Duality. I go Ash. And this is great because in the end phase I just summon Meteor. And then Meteor, bring back a tuner, Xenometeorus, and then I have Misk, and it's a wrap. He has like nothing, and I have a lot of gas here. So I do take the first game. I try to put over 3,000, over life. I was trying to kill him that turn instead of setting up negates. So I'm going second here. He opens Moon Mirror Shield plus Jowgen, so that's going to be funny to deal with. I don't see Imperm, I don't see Droplet, so there's going to be a really interesting way for me to deal with this. And I actually don't see it the first turn. You'll see how this plays out. He sets Droplet and Imperm. So I'm going to go Ovi and just search something. I search Megalo because at least, I don't know, Meteor can deal with the back row eventually, but I can't even summon Meteor because of Jowgen. So I'm like, damn, how am I going to deal with this? You tell me, if you're looking at this hand, how are we going to deal with this? Well, it's going to be a neat little trick, an effect that no one really thinks about when with the new Jurrac cards. You'll see. And I didn't even see it at first glance too, so it's going to be a fun little advantage to Stego. That's going to come up, I feel like. I didn't see it first turn. I could have dealt with it first turn. So here, I Falso Dig, search Misk. And now that way Misk can, if he has like Dogmatic Punishment or anything, decides to pop it in like the main phase for whatever reason, I can Misk protect it. But yeah, so here we go Stego. The idea is I'm going to crash Stego into Jowgen and then use the effect to bounce the Jowgen, right? Because Stego has another effect. If it's destroyed by battle, I could target any card on the field and bounce it. So I just got to crash Stego and be able to play. So that is a funny thing because no one really, you know, cares about the second effect, right? Because obviously the first effect is Soul Charge from deck. Like that's really what this card is, why this card is good. But that second effect can come up going second because you could just bounce a Floodgate and then be able to play. So that's exactly what's about to happen right now. I crash, I take 100, I use the effect, bounce this Jowgen. And then Moon Mirror Shield goes bottom of the deck, he pays 500. And then main phase 2, I'm just able to play. I got Misk, Baby, Xeno, Megalo. I have like a lot of options here. So I don't think he's going to have enough to deal with it. Like Droplet and Perm will not be enough to stop it. I activate Ground Xeno, search my second Megalo, because I have 2 tuners already. So last Dino tuner in the deck was Megalo. So pop the Baby, get the effect, and I chain Meteorus, special Ovi, and then here, he knows I have Misk, so he makes the correct play by using Droplet pitching Jowgen, which means I cannot chain Misk. So that is the correct play. It does stop this. However, it doesn't deal with the bodies, which means I can go into a Synchro 10. So I decide here I don't need to like continue like further extending with, or I don't. What do I do here? Let's see. Let's see what happens. He imperms it. Oh, I could just chain Misk here. Yeah, that's right. And then I could further extend, which is exactly what I do here, because I could Volcano pop, and then. Oh, that's right. No. Disregard what I just said. Megalo, I can pitch 2, draw 2. And the thing is, I had no non-dinos in grave, and I was locked into dinosaurs. No, I was not locked into dinosaurs. I did not use Stego. So I could have resolved Pill. But I think I would just rather choose the draw 2. So I went for the draw 2. And I think here I just decided to lock him out of the game. There we go. It's not bad. Yeah, that's right, because I was not locked yet. So I do get some protection here. Logia is pretty good against stun. Yeah. Deck then a little bit, and let's see how he deals with this. He skips, and that was versus stun. Okay, and here is our last replay. It's going to be up against the new deck Rizial with like Pyros and Thunders. So let's see how it plays out. He goes first, he summons Ice Rizial, and he does some Rizial combos. I don't have any hand traps to stop him, so he's able to pop off. So I'll just let him go full combo. This is my first time actually playing against this deck too, so it's my first time seeing how it all works. And it's a pretty neat deck. That field spell's a negate, which is really powerful. It negates on res, too, which is very interesting. Or negates during res, I should say, not on res. And he has desires, nib, imperm, valor, and this like maxi guy. So that is a very tough opening. How do I deal with this, you may ask? Well, this thing has an effect. Basically, he can do 4 pops, quick effect pops on my turn, which is pretty nuts. And then this is a negate on res, and then he has imperm, valor, nib, and max, basically maxi. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff I have to play through. And surprisingly, I actually was able to play through it. Probably this thing. I don't know why he doesn't activate this. Oh no, if you control no cards. Oh, I forgot. That card's not that as broken as I thought it was. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go ground Xeno here. So what I really have to play through is nib, valor, imperm, 1 negate, and 4 pops. So let's see how I do this. So I go ground Xeno, I search Megalo, because I already had Meteorus in hand. Or did I already have Megalo in hand? What did I? Yeah, no, I added Megalo, my bad. Yeah, so I added Megalo, popped Petite. And I'm going to use Petite's effect. Let him read it. And then he goes Petite. Oh, I go Petite. He says that's fine, so I'm going to go Ovi here. And it makes sense for him not to burn the negate on that, right? Because he has Valor and Imperm and ways to deal with Ovi. He imperms it, no worries. I activate the field spell. Because here I could pop it and then get my Stego going and get more engine going. But he pops the field spell here. So I'm not able to do anything with that. But then I use the Meteorus in hand because a card was destroyed by battle card effect, and I could special it. And then here, I don't have Misc protection yet. So he reads it, and then I also summon my Megalo here. And I guess the reason he didn't pop it is because this is only in response to when I activate a card or effect. So if he were to chain to Meteorus' effect to summon, I guess he could have popped Ovi. I don't know why he didn't do that. But I go ahead and synchro for Astro, and I use the effect to search or to set a Jurrac spell or trap. Now, if he does pop it, that's fine because I have a Meteor on the next turn. And he has to read Meteor. I say no problem. He Valors it. I activate Talents here, and he chains to pop it, which is no problem. And I get the draw 2, which is very nice. So on his turn, oh, you know what? So again, like we were giving each other some grace. So I say, actually, can I do one thing before I end my turn? So technically, this is still my turn, and this is just testing, right? So we're just testing the deck out. What I just kind of quickly pressed end turn for some reason when I really should have continued because once I drew, I actually have a play here, and we're about to see what that play is. So it's still my main phase. I'm gonna activate Megalo effect to pitch 2 and draw 2. I pitch Dego and Pill, right? Because I'm not going to be able to use Pill. I have no non-dinos. I could Pill for Nibiru. Pill banish the Nibiru, but I feel like Nibiru is better in my hand. And I draw 2, and I draw into UCT. So I'm actually able to play here. So we'll see how this goes out. I banish 2, summon the UCT, and this cannot use the effect right now because I didn't activate anything. I just summoned UCT. And I realized, oh, I could just clear his field. And then the field spell only negates something while you have a Rezeal Xyz monster. But the problem is this guy can detach to protect. So I'm gonna go battle phase, and kill it. But he used the effect to negate the effects of UCT until the end phase, I believe. Let's see what this does. Mario Logic Aggregator. If this card is sent to the grave, trigger on face-up card, negate its effects until the end of this turn. That's right, which means UCT won't be able to attack twice. Okay, so now it's his turn. He draws for turn. And I'm actually in a decent spot here, and you'll see why. He activates the field spell to extend his combos. And just to draw one, my bad. Not a combo extension. He goes Bonfire. Adds Rezeal the Pyro. And now he's extending the Rezeal combos here. So I go UCT, and then he uses this effect to negate on res, right? Because, let's see. Once per turn, when an opponent's activated monster effect resolves, you can detach 1 from a Rezeal Xyz you control, negate that effect. So this negates during resolution. So he's going to use the effect to negate on res. So I actually chain, but I actually can't chain because it's in res, but in a separate chain, I'm going to go ahead and use Astro. And there's a little bit of confusion here on my part, because for some reason, even though I know this, I know that Dino pops as part of the effect, not as cost. For some reason in the moment I was thinking it was cost. So I actually Megalo should have never been popped, and I should have never used Megalo's effect to send. So that's why I sent the Astro as a mistake. He tells me, oh, you see, the guy was never popped. I'm like, oh, my bad, you're right. So I correct the game state. Megalo is still on field. UCT still on field. Nothing ever got popped. Nothing ever got booked, which means Megalo never sent. But I am going to use the Astro I have that was in the grave, banish him and Stego to summon Meteor, and that Meteor is going to nuke the whole field. And he has no like Exesis materials to protect anything from destruction. So Meteor is actually going to be very powerful here. I'm going to nuke the whole field, and then I could trigger Megalo. Oh, I could also summon Meteors too. And then now I'm going to trigger Megalo to send my Astro, which means I can nuke the field again. He combos here. He's able to clear my Xenometeorus, and in end phase, I decided to go Meteor, but honestly, I misplayed. I was counting the summons, and he was on his 5th summon, so I could have Nibiru'd here. If I go Meteor, he protects. Meteor's not actually able to deal with this. But I was kind of worried at the back row for whatever reason. I guess I was worried it might have been like Imperm or something. But, yeah, what I should have done is I should have Nibiru'd to clear this, and then also gone for, I should have Nibiru'd and Meteored him. If I do both, I clear the whole field, and I only have to deal with hand traps. But then that would turn on his Max Z, so who knows how that would have played out. But I should have at least Nibiru'd him instead of Meteoring him. See, as you'll see, that was not the play. But I am sort of able to play. I'm going to go ahead, normal summon Oviraptor. He chains, pops this. But I am going to be able to search my Miscellaneosaurus. Now here's the problem with only playing one double evolution pill. The fact that I'm only playing one means I cannot go for the Archosaur combo. If I was playing another one, I could do Misk, Banish, Special 1, Archosaur, pop the baby, and then kind of go full combo here. But I don't have that option here. He chains to pops the Ovi. Unfortunately, my combo isn't really able to fully extend. But I do have Jurrac Support, and Jurrac Support would be able to send a UCT here, and my second UCT to go into my Astro. But the problem was, at this period in time, I did not have a third Astro. So all I could do was just kill this by battle and hope he didn't have anything to do with Titano, because Titano's kind of funny. It can't be targeted by monster effects or traps, right? So, you know, it's funny in a sense, like, but yeah, I definitely made a few misplays during this game. The result might have been different if I had played optimally, if I had used the Nibiru on the previous turn, and the deck building misplay of not playing 3 Astro. But after this, I did put my 3rd Astro in. So I used the effect to boost it by 1,000 just to clear this. And yeah, I obviously lose here because there's not anything I could do. Right now I'm kind of hoping he plays into Nibiru. He goes for those Rezeal combos, draws a card, extends with that quick play, and gets lots of pops. Oh, and the crazy part is, this thing can negate Nib, which I didn't realize. Yeah, that field spell is nuts. So I definitely lose here. Oh yeah, and he had a little take back C2, but there's no problem, right? Because this is testing. The point of this is to test. I didn't realize my take backs until it was like way too late, so I didn't like do that. But yeah, he negates it. So yeah, I just for sure lose this game. But I feel like if I had played a little better, I had a better shot at that. So I normal OV, search Misk, and we go into game 2. Again, like that game 1 was not a blowout by any means. I think I could have played that a little better, and apparently this Rezeal deck is going to be like at least a tier 1 threat in the OCG right now, or will be in the TCG. So, you know, the fact that I can like get that close is pretty good. So I'm going to go OV, search Misk. I'm going to go for the whole combo here. Arco, Pop, Petite, search Pill, and go for Meteorus here. I'm going to OV, pop Arco, bring back Petite, and then Xeno's going to pop Petite. And I'm just going to go for Lars, Dolka, Pass. Again, not like a super sexy combo, right? Like a lot of dinosaur combos can do a lot more. They can go like Danglong, set the counter trap. Some go into like Thunder Dragon Colossus. But those combos usually involve bricks. And I'm electing to go into the Jurrac stuff, and I don't want to add more bricks, right? Especially with like the scrap stuff. You have to play Chimera. If I want to go into the Danglong stuff, I have to play 9 Pillars. Or if I want to go into like Thunder Dragon stuff, I have to play like one of the Nemesis guys. So instead, I'm just opting to play the Jurrac bricks just to go the Jurrac lines. But yeah, I just end on Lars Dolka. 4 negates, not too bad. An imperm and a droplet. So let's see how he deals with this. He has a take back. I guess he made a mistake. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's testing, right? So instead he goes for this to deal with stuff first. And I'm like, yeah, no worries. So he's gonna summon this, send Myriologic Aggregator, which when it hits grave, it's gonna negate the effects of something. So he's gonna negate no, he's gonna negate Lars. That's right. And I chain Lars to do that, so I still have the Dolka negate. And I think he chain blocked, right? He chain blocked, so I couldn't negate the aggregator effect. That's exactly what happened. He chain linked 1 aggregator, chain linked 2 the Riziel. So which means I couldn't actually stop the aggregator, so the aggregator was for sure going to negate Lars. So I said, fuck it, might as well just use Lars's effect to negate the Riziel. He continues to extend. I go Dolka to negate. He summons, makes a rank 4, and I go Droplet instead. Because if he attaches this as material and then it gets detached again, he can negate again. So I don't want to let that happen. So I Droplet. Lars is dead already. Like it's negated. So I just Droplet, send Lars, negate that, and he can't chain any monster effects because it's Droplet. And he scoops it up. So we go to game 3 here. So he's on summon number 2, summon number 3, summon number 4, and summon number 5, summon number 6. And I misplayed. I should have just dropped the nib as soon as possible. I totally forgot how broken this field spell is, so my bad. But he did have cross out, so it didn't really matter. But instead, I'm like actually waiting for a choke point. And here I dropped nib, right? Because he doesn't have any Riziel Xyz monsters to detach. But it didn't matter because he had cross out. And he's going to do the full combo. And he's got Hole Thruster set, Judgment set. So it's going to be very tough to deal with this board. Let's see if I am able to. Search Misk. Excuse me. I added UCT. Let's see why I did that. Let's see. What happened here? Oh, that's right. I let him get the take back. He was going to negate Miscellaneousaurus with the cross. I was definitely not going to win this one. Plus, I opened a brick. And he had Judgment. So, yeah, I definitely lost this. I admitted defeat here. Yeah, the Dweller was rough. Yeah, there's not really anything I could really do here. I was definitely blown out. But it was a good game. And I think I did win game 2, and game 1 was winnable. So I think that shows that the deck has potential. And I can't wait to get better at Advanced and learn the format, learn cards, get familiar with things to further expand the potential of Jurracs. All right, thanks guys. See you around.